Hey guys, I don't even know where to start because it's been rough. These past few weeks have been kind of rough, and I don't know. I feel like I'm not even sad about them. I actually feel like I needed them. It's hard to explain exactly what has been going on, but I can just tell you in very simple words that it's like a lot of people have a hard time acknowledging the hard time, and that leads to suffering. And the suffering usually manifests itself in a repeated state where there is no novelty, and usually is perpetuated by one's own thoughts and negative self-talk. So usually the first thing that you want to do if you find yourself in one of these states is bring awareness to it, either by taking some deep breaths, or just finding some quiet time for yourself, going for a walk, and letting those emotions resolve. Because you see, when you push them aside or bury them, you haven't dealt with them. They're just there in the background. So you have to be careful that you don't put yourself in a cycle where it doesn't benefit you, because ultimately you choose your states, and you might think this is nonsense, but just ask yourself, are you going to allow yourself to be in this state? Because you're so attached to the past, you're so attached to these ideas, to these events, situations. Let go. Allow them to be, because they've already happened. See, the past is not real, but the present is. So you repeatedly choose to relive an experience. The real experience is right here, right now. But if you are reminiscing, if you are anxious, that means you're not living in the present. That means that you are in your mind creating scenarios, maybe even replaying a memory. You see, all these things are just mental activities. These are neurons firing together, following a certain path that you have created. And you might say, well, it wasn't me who created it, it was this experience. But you gave the experience meaning through your emotions. You gave that experience a reason to persist. Because you see, when we charge our thoughts with a feeling, and that feeling is an emotion expressed through the body. You see, our body is not separate from the mind and from the brain. It is a one whole thing, right? So the body also has memory from those same experiences. This is what we usually refer to as trauma, right? There's people who maybe shrug their shoulders and suddenly they feel this immense anxiety only because maybe somebody raised their hand at them and they just try to hide away, right? And even though right now no one's raising your hand at you, but you shrug your shoulders, you might feel this anxiety, right? Everything is connected. Your mind, your body is connected. So, yes, your experiences might have shaped the reactions, but now you know more. You are more mature, you are much wiser, and you understand the things that you didn't understand back then. You might not be ready, but when are you ever gonna be? Because it's always now. Just because your face changes, your hair grows longer, things pass in front of you, it doesn't mean that you are not the being experiencing it. It's always now. So find time for yourself to face these fears, to see where you've emotionally charged yourself, what thought forms have you emotionally charged. But that's also just one part of the whole thing, because there's also linguistic gymnastics that you're doing in your own mind. Find a way to accept this as the truth, because remember, your subconscious cannot tell what is imagined and what is real. So if you constantly keep repeating the same thing over and over, it might be a lie, but eventually it will become the truth. I'm just going to give you a few examples of what I mean, because they are so prevalent in our thinking sometimes. And these sentences usually go like this: I should. Let's just break it apart. What does that mean? I should. Well, it just implies that you aren't. So if you say, I should be working, what does that say to yourself? I am not working. Right? If you tell yourself, I want to be more confident, what are you telling yourself? You're saying, I am not confident. I mean, it's that simple. So check yourself. Observe your thoughts. What exactly are you telling yourself? You see, we're all one consciousness, and we've expressed ourselves in different forms. This power of thought doesn't discriminate whether it's positive or negative, right? It doesn't care, because it will shape your reality and your perspectives and your paradigms, no matter if it is positive or negative in nature, because it just is. And when you realize this, you give power to yourself, because, oh wait, I don't have to be thinking all this negativity. I don't have to focus on the hurt I don't have to put myself down. I don't have to be angry at myself for not doing things that I didn't. Because look, all those things, they've shaped you into who you are right now. And that is a valuable realization, because suddenly you're here. You're in the present. And suddenly everything else disappears. The worry of time, the worry of past, the anxiety of the future. You're just here. And you know exactly what to do. Because now you've quieted the repetition in your head, the chatter. You've quieted it now. And now you can truly focus on what you want to focus on. You can focus on what you need to focus on. And you know what you need to do. You see, we all know what we need to do. We all have the knowledge. We know what our passions are. We know that what makes us excited. So why steal that joy from yourself? Why put yourself in a state that doesn't fulfill you? Now, that said, I do believe that even these states that would be negative in nature are good, because they allow us to reflect and grow. So don't be so hard on yourself, and allow to appreciate and find gratitude in pain. Because everything is just relative. If you feel like you're really down, that's because you're comparing yourself to when you're really up. And if you're really up, then it's because you probably had some rough times, you know? But all of the states, bad, good, meh, doesn't matter. They're all equal. It's just that you've chosen to be in this state. And to say that you didn't choose this is to rob yourself of the power that you have, the control that you have of your life. You see, life is beautiful no matter what. No matter the pain, no matter the suffering, no matter the hard times. Life is always beautiful. And I'm here to remind you that you're always loved. You haven't been forgotten. You haven't been left behind. You put yourself in this situation to grow. You put yourself in this situation to learn. Because if everything was even, there would be no experience. There would be nothing to compare anything to. So find a way to forgive yourself. And then move into a different state. Yes, it will feel awkward, because you're not going to resonate with the thoughts that you've been having for the past, I don't know how long. But eventually, through awareness and conscious practice, conscious, intentional thinking, you will slowly change the way that you view yourself. Because remember, you're a limitless potential being. You'll change the way you view others. You'll change the way life comes at you. Because there is no separation. The things that you see in the external are just a reflection of your internal states. So if you don't like what you're seeing in your environment, don't change the environment. Change yourself.